Hi friends, today I am going to walk you through the reading curriculum that I have used for my kids in their kindergarten year of school. So a little background about me: I am a music educator. I have a background in elementary education and a background in music, and I've been homeschooling my own kids for the last 4 years, and I also, like I said, I give music lessons as well. So education is a passion of mine, and I have done a lot of searching through different curriculums, and I wanted to just show you what I have found that works well for me, works well for my teaching style, and it works well for my kids' learning styles. So when my oldest was approaching kindergarten, I tried a couple of different reading curriculum. I started with Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, and we went through most of it, but it wasn't really clicking with my kid. He could read a little bit, but he had no desire to read. So he could read if I said, we are sitting down and we are going to read, but it wasn't really translating into him picking up a book and trying to read on his own. So I did a little more exploring, and I found this curriculum. It's a little messy right now because I'm actually using it with my youngest at the moment. But it is called Learn to Read, and it's put out by This Reading Mama. So if you go to thisreadingmama.com, you can find it. And I bought PDF files, so I've been able to just use it with all 3 of my kids. And the things that I like about this are every unit has sight words that we memorize, and every unit has a word family. And you really dwell with that word family. You get really comfortable with it before you move on. There is also, I know, a kind of a preschool curriculum that comes before this that is worth checking out if you have kids who aren't quite ready for kindergarten. I haven't personally used it, but I have a good friend who does use it, and she really likes it for her kids. So every unit is made, or every lesson is made to be covered in 5 days. I am right now using it with my 4.5-year-old, and he's pretty young, but he came to me with the desire to read, and so I said, hey, we're going to do this. But we're taking it very slowly, so we are making 1 week's worth of work stretch over about 3 weeks, just to make sure he knows what he's doing. But every lesson is really similar. So every lesson you're going to have 2 new main sight words that you're going to cover, and you're going to do activities around those 2 sight words. Every lesson will have a poem. It's usually kind of a silly poem that's fun, and the poem will use words from the word family you're working on, and it will use the 2 new sight words that you're looking at. So this is what we are doing right now. It's called The Little Man. And so it uses the sight words where and find several times, and my son went through and circled them. And then it also uses words from the AN, the An family, which are what he is working on right now. But it also will review the AT family and the AD family by throwing words in like cat and mat, that kind of thing. So that's something that you'll work on, and you'll come back to it and review it. By the end of 1 to 2 to 3 weeks, your kid will probably be pretty familiar with it and maybe even be able to read it on their own. Every lesson also has a small book that has a controlled vocabulary. And so it's only using sight words that your child knows or is working on, and it mostly will only use other words that are from the word family you're currently working on. And so usually by day 3, my child can read this. At first, it's kind of a memorized reading because it has like a rhythm that keeps getting repeated. Like this particular one is, where is the fan? Dan said he can find it. Next page is, where is the van? Dan said he can find it. So it's repetitive, but if you're having your child touch the words, they also start to memorize what all those words sound like, and it reinforces all of the sight word work you're doing. And then we have a special spot on our bookshelf for the completed books, like the book that the emerging reader can read on their own, and that's like a really proud moment for the child to be able to go put their book on the shelf and know that I have mastered this and I can read this. So we try to celebrate the little accomplishments, big accomplishments actually. You're also going to have sight word cards. You can do multiple things with these. I like to play a game with them where, so this is over 3 lessons worth, that's why there's so many. But we play the game where whoever is working on the word or working on the reading at that point will tell me what the word is, and if they get it right, they get to keep the card. And we go on to the next one. If they can't figure it out, I'll put it in the back of the stack. They'll get a second chance. If they still can't get it, then I get to keep it. But hey, we'll play the game again tomorrow, and maybe you'll get to keep it tomorrow. So it's a little fun game where they can see their progress and like the act of their stack getting taller. They can see like how much they have learned, and it keeps the momentum going. Every lesson comes with a really clear outline of what you should do. I do want to mention there's a lot of printing. So you're going to either have to go somewhere and print a bunch out, or you're going to have a reliable printer. There are black and white and color options. We just do the black and white, and then it provides coloring pages if we want to color anything. So every lesson will have 2 pages, one for every day of the week, and we'll just tell you these are the things you want to do. This lesson number 3, we're working on the and family. So some of the things that you will do, this page lets you build the word with Play-Doh, so you can build the beginning sound. You're gonna keep making these words. You're gonna make them here. You're going to write them here and work on like identifying word shape. Here we have an activity where we have to sort out add words from and words, so we're paying attention to the endings. There are other activities like you have to stamp and spell the word. There's usually a dice game at the end where we have a game board with words that the child has mastered or is working on, and then we roll the dice, and whatever word you land on you have to read, and that's a really great review. It looks like this, and that's always fun for us to do. And then for sight words, there's also a whole bunch of activities, and so you might have things like sight word maze. You have to find the words that are sight words that are spelled correctly. You might have, this is called Color It Crazy. You use a magnifying glass and you look for different sight words, and then you color. It's kind of a color by number, but it's a color by sight word. This is a racing game you do with dice. So you put you roll your dice, and if you get even numbers, you're going to write where. If you do odd numbers, you're going to do find. So this covers a lot. Like, I don't use it for handwriting, but you could, because you do get to copy a lot of things. So it's really well-rounded. I also like that every lesson is set up really similarly, so after you've gone through a couple lessons, you both get the hang of it, and sometimes you can say, like with this, you get your child started, and then they can finish it, or work on it while you're off helping another child or whatever it might be. So that's what I use for reading for kindergarten. After kindergarten, I use Explode the Code books to keep working on phonics, and we do a lot of borrowing books from the library and just making sure we are reading every day so that we're challenging and we're growing. I don't have a formal curriculum that I use after that for reading specifically. Instead, we kind of work on the different parts of grammar and spelling and that kind of thing, and build over our vocabulary in that way. So I hope that's helpful, and that seeing what one curriculum that's available is useful to you. Please feel free to share this video with anyone you think might benefit from it, or anyone who might be searching for a reading curriculum.